Also, what I should do, of course, I've ruined it now because we've spent how many years now doing this? Two maybe. I know. And I give you scent strips and ask you what it is.
Yeah.
And then you answer, and I always say, no, it isn't. And so now I'm going to give you this and say, what's this?
YLANG, YLANG.
YLANG. YLANG.
So I was in Berlin a couple of days ago and you sent me a text saying our next video is YLANG, YLANG, and I stopped in the street, gasped and said, oh sweet Jesus.
Yeah. 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 It's a strange thing, this material. It's restricted.
Why?
Skin sensitizer.
Right.
It is also known as the oil of tranquillity. Which always reminds me of the moon. You know, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's got the
Isn't
sea of tranquility.
Tranquility base, wasn't that?
It was
base? Yeah.
such a thing when I was a kid and people were going to the moon. And so the oil of tranquility makes me think of the moon.
It's quite medicinal.
Yeah.
But I've never smelt that before. I've never thought that YLANG, YLANG is medicinal smelling until now.
There are different grades of it. This is complete. So there's different stages of distillation, so they can smell different, and this is all three.
Yeah, right. It smells like geranium. No, not geranium. Sorry, wrong thing. Germaline.
Germaline. Okay, so I was going to say jasmine. No, germaline. Yeah. So I know several people who cannot be in the same room as this stuff.
Really?
There's a bit of a strange story, but I'm going to have to tell you it now. Is that so my nephew, one of them, this is the trumpet playing nephew, who's 6'7" and has degrees in medieval history and ancient history, but he had meningitis C when he was a small child, and was in hospital for months and had to have operations on his brain, and had to relearn life, everything, the lot. And it turns out that when he had a seizure, he smelt like this. And my sister can't bear it, because she would suddenly see the oil at time was just motionless. And that was the form his seizures took, that he was just still. And then she could smell something just like this. And so she can't be in the same room as this by itself now, because it takes her back, 20 odd years or so to this time when he was so very ill.
He smelled of this.
That's when he was having a seizure. This is the aroma that she detected.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What?
Yeah. So she can't be near it. However,
that's so interesting that we do emit smells, don't we?
We do. We have chemical signalling. Humans do chemical signalling, and famously now, there was the discovery that people who have Parkinsons have a particular aroma, and when the story came out, first of all, I've met the nurse who discovered it. Her husband was a doctor. She was training as a doctor, but in order for them to get married and him to continue his studies, she actually gave up and worked as a nurse so that he could qualify. But when he got Parkinson's, she could detect the aroma. And it turns out it's the sebum on the back of the neck that gives off this aroma. This is not the direction I was intending to take.
No, but it's really, really interesting.
So anyway, this woman, Jean, she was brought in to do this medical research, and she was identifying different T-shirts and saying yes, no, definitely not, yes. And then she said yes to this one. This man has Parkinson's, and they said, no, sorry, we're going to have to dump this research. We can't tell people they have Parkinson's if you're going to get it wrong. 6 months later, he was diagnosed. So they called her up and said, sorry, let's start this again. The problem is, of course, that if you find out that you have got Parkinson's at the moment, there's no advantage to knowing in advance.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do yet. So, but this is not the same aroma, but this is an aroma which she could detect. My sister can detect that aroma as well, because my mother had Parkinson's. So any odour, it's made by nature. There are reasons why. There's aromas made by plants that are also made by animals, as we know, like indole exists in jasmine wafted out by jasmine, exists in poo. So
yeah, it's all it's like we're all related.
Funny that we all grew out of the ground. So Lang Lang.
Wow, really interesting. It's like just the whole time you were saying, talking about all of that. I just remember when during the pandemic, and everyone was going on about how dogs could smell COVID.
Yeah, dogs can smell quite a few different diseases, we think. There's this cat, it's probably died now because the story's ancient, but it belonged to a care home, a nursing home, and it used to go and sit on the bed of the person who was going to be the next one to shuffle off their mortal coil. But the thing was that while they did worry, they thought maybe they should get rid of the cat because it was a bit the cat of doom comes in with a cloak and whatever it is a reaper uses when they go scythe comes in and goes meow.
Yeah.
Except that the people it came and sat on, by the time they were at that point, they thought, good, fine, I know. They'd call the family and say, the
cat is seeing me off.
The cat's sitting on your grandmother, and they'd go, oh, we'd better get there.
I mean, that's lovely. It's like it's going and sitting there and accompanying you as you exit. Has anyone taken a look at the causality of this, though? Was the cat killing the people?
Was the cat?
Which direction?
Did anybody find that there were cat hairs? They think no.
It's just.
We used to have a cat. It was a very, very friendly cat. It was Burmese. They just love people. And I did wake up once from a dream in which I thought I was being strangled by a fur coat, and the cat was asleep across my neck. So he's like, right, okay. It was found the warmest place in the house. So no, it wasn't that, but it was. People found it kind of comforting. But yeah, dogs can detect all kinds of interesting things, but they can't explain what it is, so they have to be trained for what it is they're looking for.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that one ever got followed up.
Yeah.
But humans, actually, a lot of nurses, when this story came out, I got because I wrote about this in The Guardian once, and somebody wrote to me and said, oh yeah, my wife, she was a nurse, she could tell these things, and a lot of the time the doctors would say, don't be ridiculous. But when that's your job and you're familiar and you just walk into a room and think, oh yeah, that one's got this, that one's got that, they know.
Yeah.
And she did tell a doctor once that they got two charts mixed up the wrong way. So no, because that one's got this disease, that one's got that. And they went, ridiculous. And they found out she was right, and it was the aroma.
Wow.
So I think a lot of people can tell. It's like detecting, if a room is scary. You can tell if something goes slightly wrong. If somebody starts behaving oddly in a room, you get the atmosphere changes. People start feeling they behave like it's all normal, but they're wafting out stress.
Yeah.
And we can tell that. Let's see if we can calm it down. And that's the point at which, if there is a small child, if babies can detect this, they suddenly just go.
Yeah.
It's like babies on a plane.
Yeah.
The point of which, you're flying along, it's all fine, and then the captain says, nothing to worry about, but you might just like to put your seatbelts on this point, because we're probably approaching a little bit of turbulence, and the babies just go, wah! Because everyone on the plane has thought, nothing to worry about, but we waft anxiety. Talking of which, shall we waft some... we waft some famous Lang Lang based...
Is Chanel number 5, your Lang Lang?
Lang Lang, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's... So the story I heard, which there are many stories about Chanel number 5, but this is my 1948 bottle. Look, I'm gradually using it up as I let people smell it. This is Mrs. Jolly's bottle that she won in a bet in 1947.
What was the bet?
The bet was, she bet that Winston Churchill would not win the election after the war. And her brother-in-law said, of course he will. and her brother-in-law lost the bottle of Chanel No. 5 to Mrs. Jolly. So, but the story I heard from Yves Tanguy, master perfumer who made the first ever aquatic, he made Magie Noire as well. He said, because he worked at Chanel in his youth, and he worked with the woman, Mademoiselle Revel, who had made apparently the first error, supposedly, when Chanel No. 5 was being created, and Ernest Beau went off out to dinner and left all the women to do the work. And she'd accidentally put the aldehydes in 10 times more strongly than they should be, at 10% instead of 1%. Came back the next day, she said, Je suis désolée, Monsieur Tanguy. No, not Monsieur Tanguy, Monsieur Beau. Je suis désolée, Monsieur Beau. I'm very sorry, I accidentally did this. And he smelt it and he said, oh, it's fine. Took it to see Gabrielle Chanel, and she said, I can smell Lang Lang, which you're not supposed to do. So it has a centre of jasmine, rose and Lang Lang.
Mm-hmm.
Or this certainly has, the early formula. And you see, when you smell that, and then you smell this, you sort of know it's there.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily
just.
if you're approaching it, yeah. There's all the other things. But, and then they left it 2 weeks. Monsieur Tanguy told me that Mademoiselle Revel had told him. And then the Lang Lang a trouvé sa place. It had found its own place. It's a level back down again. But apparently the aldehydes at extra strength had boosted the Lang Lang. But then it sort of calmed down, and that's the one that she decided she'd go for.
Wow.
So, but it was apparently mortifying because the designer was not supposed to be able to recognise what you put in the perfume. That was at a time when nobody went, oh, has it got that? Has it got that? What are the notes? Like, how very dare you? It's a perfume. It's complete.
Yes.
Don't leave them.
Yes.
So, yeah.
It's a very nice perfume, isn't it, Chanel No. 5?
It's certainly, yeah. I like the 1948 better than I've got.
Does anyone still wear it?
I think it gets bought a lot. It's still the best-selling fragrance. I mean, supposedly you never got dumped for buying Chanel No. 5, but I don't know.
Supposedly who? What?
You never got dumped for buying Chanel No. 5. But these days, I don't think, unless you're sent, I mean, dispatched, you don't go buying women a perfume unless you know exactly what you're supposed to be getting.
Yeah.
I don't think. Whereas previous generations, you'd sit there and wait on your birthdays to see what you got.
Mm-hmm.
Like, boss of mine used to go off, if he had a business meeting somewhere and he was going out the country, and he'd come back, with a bottle of perfume, just give it to his wife. And I said, well, what did she say? Oh, she says thank you for whatever I get her. Okay. Even I thought that was weird. And that's not... No, it is actually. It is a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yes, I'd still sells very, very well. Do you want to smell something I put in my
Yes.
I'll spray it then. You might have seen what it is, but...
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'd have already been able to tell you that this is one of your Lang Lang fragrances.
Yep.
I must stop calling it by its correct name. It's YLANG.
YLANG, so
it's
good.
Not Lang Lang.
They named it twice. Yeah.
Where's it from?
Where's it grown?
Yeah.
The Far East.
Right.
I'm actually not sure where mine came from, but definitely India. Good question. I think it's probably grown... I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah.
It needs warmth and dampness.
It needs warmth and damp.
I've forgotten. Sometimes I forget. I made this a long time ago. I forgot.
This is really good.
It's not bad, is it? Because I think I don't like ylang ylang and jasmine, and now I smell this and I think my mind has changed. I have changed my mind.
Why don't you like them? What is it about them that you thought you didn't like?
I guess they were probably worn by people I wasn't drawn to in the past, but now I've forgotten who those people are, so I don't mind anymore. So I was asked by a PR company, would I make a fragrance for Valentine's Day to spray on pillows. It was a a pillow spray. And they wanted jasmine, sandalwood, black pepper and ylang ylang. And I said, sure. Why? And they said, because they're aphrodisiacs. And I said it had to be in that language. And I went, maybe, but okay, if that's what you like. So, in fact, that's what it says here. So actually what I did was, because they wanted it sort of the next day, they wanted it as a press story. They wanted it, it got something like this much coverage in the Sun, I think.
Yeah.
So I put them on top of the Sexiest Scent on the planet ever because it seemed appropriate.
Ah.
So
is that what the base of this is?
Yeah. So the bergamot, I think, one that can detect. So it has bergamot, vanilla, cedar amber, and isoe super as well. So it's basically 8 things. But
it completely changes the Sexiest Scent, doesn't it? I would not have known that the Sexiest Scent was under this.
No.
Or rather in this. So it's called Sleep Knot. We've forgotten to say what it's called.
Oh yes, it's called Sleep Knot. That's right. Sleep Knot with a K-N-O-T.
Because it's funny, because if it's an aphrodisiac, then you will be sleeping knot.
You would be sleeping knot, that's true. But also you might end up in a knot.
In a sleep knot.
Tied up in somebody else's limbs.
Yeah.
That's what I think a sleep knot is.
Yeah, that's nice.
Thank you. And then, by coincidence, I was making it that day and somebody dropped in I probably said in the past. So this woman just burst in and said, I need a fragrance and I need it now because I've got a launch next week in Hollywood. And I'm going, okay, and you are. You know, she just called and said, can I come to your studio? I was going to go to Paris, but there was a bomb. And I said, okay. So, and then that she turned up and said, well, this is a long way. And I said, well, fine, but where from?
From Paris.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to spray one for me. Oh. But she had been staying in Kensington. I didn't know, and she thought Acton. She was not expecting her Uber to be that expensive. She turned out to be loaded, but she's one of those people who stays loaded because they don't spend any money, I think. Anyway, she wanted this one. She came in as I was working on your actual sleep knot, and she said, "Can I have that?" I said, "No, because I'm making it for somebody else, and they're coming to collect it. You can't just no." And her daughter was there, and her daughter was very reasonable. I kept saying, "Mom, you can't just do this." No? So she said, "Well, can I have pink peppercorn?" I said, "Okay." "Can I have yuzu and can I have orange flower?" So I said, "Okay." So I then, all in the same day, I added pink peppercorn. I did yuzu aldehyde and orange flower ether because I wasn't going to put the originals in. I didn't use the natural. Anyway, I put that all together, so quickly checking that it was all safe, and then she sort of just took a bottle and left and said, "Invoice me." At which point Aisha turned around and said, "Who was that? I don't know." Yeah, so we found out because she had left her flight ticket stop. So we Googled and found out she was one of the Forbes top 50 most influential women in Hollywood.
Wow.
We invoiced her, she never paid. So we launched it. So up hers.
She never paid for it?
No, she never paid. Like I said, rich people hang on to their money by not paying the bills. No. So, but she had said that she wanted the fragrance, her favourite fragrance was, she made it, she said, with green coconut, black coconut and flower shop. This is it's branded onto my brain, this because I said, there are no such thing. I said, no, it's completely natural. I said, no, it's completely the opposite. And she was buying fragrance oils and mixing them and selling them to people in Hollywood. It's like, what are you thinking, woman? Kind of thing that brings us into dispute. So anyway.
What's this one called?
This one is called Pillow Talk.
Pillow Talk.
I mean, this is years back. You know, I got the thing to renew my trademark, 4,160 Tuesdays. It's been trademarked for 10 years, time flies, whoosh.
Wow.
But yeah, so this was years ago. There have been other, since then, Pillow Talk fragrances, but I didn't trademark this. So.
There have been loads of Pillow Talk. I saw one the other day. I saw a fragrance called Pillow Talk.
Oh, very dare they. But this was maybe 20... Well, if Aisha was working for us...
It was, yeah.
That's like, she was there before you, was she?
She was, yes. But
yeah.
this was around the time that I started coming along to the studio in...
I actually bought the woman a pie from Paul's, because she hadn't had any lunch. She went up to Paolo's Cafe and bought her a pie. Remember Paul's pies?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Are you still there?
Yeah, he's still there. The pie counter is no longer... But he stopped doing the pies. They were great.
Yeah.
But yes, so those are my...
Wow.
Those are my Lang Lang fragrances.
So, any words of wisdom for working with Lang Lang?
Yes, it's restricted to 0.73% in the finished fragrance, so careful. But yeah, I've got this. I'm going to make this one. It's another one from. I've adapted it from the Goya collection. I've been looking up fragrances that they have that have YLANG in them. And this one's from 1980. It's called Pink Mimosa, and it's got 5%. Oh. No, it's not percent. It adds up to more than 100. I was going to say it's got 5% in the formula, but it's got less because this adds up to... Oh, I think it said it was 225. Yeah, so it's got only like 2% in the formula, so it's safe. But they've also put Lang Synthetic in there as well, so I'd have to check what base they were using. So it's quite Lang heavy, their Pink Mimosa.
Sounds nice. What's in it?
So, Egyptian geranium.
Geranium.
Ylang.
Ylang.
Yep, aldehyde C12 at 10%. Benzyl acetate.
What's aldehyde C12? So
ooh, it's very, very fizzy. It's kind of weirdly... It's one of the fatty aldehydes. It is the sparkliest of the aldehydes, I find. It's more of a sensation than a smell. I might not have it up here.
No.
Oh, it's odd. It's like... Aldehyde C12 is like pulling the ring pull off a fizzy orange drink and getting that first flash of that. That's what that's like. Benzyl acetate, which is in jasmine, it smells very jasmine-y. Quite a chunk of coumarin.
Good.
2 musks that I don't use that aren't around anymore, so I've replaced with ethylene brassylate and ambretolide.
What were the originals?
Oh, can't remember. I think musk... It's not... Is it xylene that's... One of them... Some of them are gone. The...
From actual
nitro musks. No, and they are... They're just... skin sensitizers. They're just... A Popanax. There was a Lily one that is no longer with us, so I'm using Lily Bell instead. They were using Lily Owl. A thing called Hydro Rose. I have to find out what the heck that is. I'm not sure if they mean phenyl ether alcohol or if it's something else that they're using. Synthetic jasmine, synthetic lan. A thing called, they said, argiol, base agiltoline, which turns out to be aurantium, which is a shift base. It's fine. And arnolia, I've no idea what arnolia is. I can't find it anywhere, but I'm going to have to track it down, look it up, look in some of my old books and see if Poucher mentions arnolia. Because it could be one of their other bases that they've made, so I can't make it yet because I've got to do a little bit of detective work, forensic perfume detecting. But yeah, that's my plan.
Wow, wonderful.
So yeah, so I know. Oh, that's the Chanel No. 5, yeah. And
I like YLANG. I think my mum used to have a thing on top of our stove, a little metal dish that she'd pop some water and some essential oils in.
Yeah.
And she used to pop YLANG in it, and so my house would smell of YLANG. So it smells very comfortable to me. It smells very warm and homely, because it was only ever smelled like that when the stove was on, which meant that it was winter and meant that it was cosy. Right,
and it also should help you feel calm as well.
Yeah.
It smells
What
better
it doesn't
now.
do, however,
What is
it doesn't work as an aphrodisiac for me.
I should probably hope not, given the
Yeah.
circumstances.
Yeah, so has sleep not said.
Household memories, yes. It smells better now it's been allowed to sit for a while, I think. Smells more like a flower and less like a cough medicine.
It did smell medicinal at first, and now it smells...
Still sort of balsamic and... Yeah, but I've had it in rooms when we've tested people, and some people have said, there's a thing in perfume that I really just don't like. And I'll dip this and get it out and pass it round, and they go, it's that. How did you know? Yeah.
Nice.
Polarising, that's what it is.
It is. I like it. But I'm struggling to think of a scenario where I'd like to smell of it, though, actually. Unless it's in Sleep Not or Pillow Talk, which are both available on the 4160 Tuesdays website for purchase. Like and subscribe. And,
I keep forgetting to say that. Yes.
Comment.
Yeah, we were on, last time I looked, we were on 6,900 whatever. We were 10 off something. 6,990, yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's very nice. Keep your comments coming. I'm enjoying reading your comments.
Yeah, Arthur's actually reading the comments.
I would reply, but I have to pretend I've got a secret YouTube account. It's just embarrassing. The username's embarrassing. I made it when I was about 13.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I'll sign up again, but under my actual name.
Imagine being 13 and YouTube existing. Oh, thank goodness it didn't. Oh, no. Yeah.
See ya.